Hey everybody, good morning. This is Chandler, new addition to TGG to teach you guys how to day trade. So these are going to be the little weekend prep videos. I'm going to even have one of these every single weekend and just kind of go over all my weekend prep, all my thoughts, and anything for the week ahead I think you guys should know about. I'm going to be going over this little PDF live with you guys right now, and this will be sent to you. So bear with me. So just to review very quickly, last week, it was a short week for the market, but nonetheless, we continued to make another new all-time high, right? We had a short week. We continued to hold the 15 MA. And the biggest thing was when, Trump signed the Hong Kong bill Wednesday night after close to cause some nice selling. But even with the market closed Thursday, we seem to recover and kind of hang around all-time high. So for me, the biggest thing this week is going to be if we see some real selling or rotation from the Hong Kong bill. Here's an interesting tweet. Players using the Hong Kong bill as an excuse to shift from funds out of commodity and trade-sensitive names. There was some early money on Friday going into Facebook, Disney. I actually don't know these two names, and CRM. But long story short, I'm just going to continue to look for some rotation in the market. Pull this up for you guys. So the economic calendar for the week ahead, we have a lot of big pieces of economic data coming this week. We have a jobs report Friday. That's probably one of the biggest things. Weekly jobless claims. We have motor vehicle sales. All these things are coming out, so kind of just be aware of them and do not get caught in them. These are all Eastern times. Like I said, I'll send you guys this. The link to access this calendar will be here. But moving on. So to review the options flow of the week, the leaders this week were, it was a short week, but SPY, BABA, Facebook. SPY also saw some massive selling, which I thought was very interesting. On Friday, we saw some massive put orders come in, right? 23 million in premium versus 4.7 million in premium on Friday, right? So this could mean one of two things. One, this came in after the Hong Kong bill. And so we could either see potential dump to start the month, right? We're chilling all the way at the top. Or, this could just be a massive hedge for an even bigger position long. Look at some of the orders that came in: 10 million, 5 million, 3 million, 1.6 million, 1.4 million. Some crazy orders, guys. So to me, it's just, I'm not going to ignore that. I'm going to follow price action. So I'm bullish until proven otherwise. But the thing with these tools is we have the advanced notice now. So knowing that these people are positioned, just keep an eye on it. If we do roll, there's some money behind it. All right, let's move on to some charts, guys. Oops, sorry about that. So this is ES, big picture, SPY. I use ES instead of SPY. But essentially, real quick, market set new all-time high at 3155. It's continuing to hold the 15 MA, very strong. I'm now looking for either a continued push or a slight retracement back towards all-time high. 50 MA is way below. Nowhere of concern right now. We would really have to breach some key levels. But first things first, let's see if this holds up. What else we got? We just started to squeeze in the 4-hour. So that's something to keep an eye on. We just started, so nothing too clean. We also are squeezing on the hourly, right? TTM. Futures open at 6 p.m. tonight, so this all could be changed. But this is our weekend prep. I'll keep you guys up to date on anything else that might change this picture. But for now, I'm looking for either an all-time high continuation or just a simple retracement to that 15 MA. Another thing, which we'll cover, I'm not going to cover this too much right now because I haven't even taught it yet, but we're starting to slip underneath what's called the hourly cloud. And this could be a bearish sign. So I'm just going to personally have eyes on that, and I'll keep you guys updated. Some key levels to focus on. Where we have our all-time high here. little zone right here. The biggest zone down here is where the 15 MA lines up on the daily, right? Take a peek at this. We'll get into this when I start to teach how to break down and even create chart zones. But the biggest thing I'm looking for, just to wrap up the market right here, is either a new all-time high, and we continue to be strong, or see if we breach these zones and kind of make our way down towards the 15 MA. Make that clean for you guys. And I'm gonna be sending you guys all these charts, so we'll be all looking at the same shit. Right, we have a lot to get through, but you never know if this Hong Kong bill is gonna bring some serious selling. If it does bring some serious selling, I think we're going around here. If we breach through there, it could get ugly, but like I always say, one step at a time. So that's the market, guys. Let's look at Apple real quick. So Apple, guys, still very strong. They finally made a healthy pullback. Finally. To the 15 MA, right? They were just running away from it. Finally made a nice little healthy pullback, held nicely, and this week, give me a second. This week made another push back towards all-time high and literally rejected it to the center. So we have the actual all-time high and we have the pre-market all-time high, creating this zone. And so what I'm looking for on Apple, guys, right, we have about a 3.6 ATR. So all these zones are kind of matching up with that. Much like the market, Apple travels pretty much with the market. And so I'm looking for an all-time high continuation, right through here. Next psychological zone are 50 cents and whole numbers. So looking for 270, and could even continue towards 275 if she's strong. But it's all going to depend on the market, guys. With the holiday season, Apple should be strong. And like I said, my main focus is that continuation matched with market strength. So if ES is strong, Apple's going to be strong, guys, vice versa. If and when the market rolls hard, I will look to short Apple below the 15 MA. That'll kind of be my line in the sand. But until then, I'm going to stay bullish on Apple. And we're currently squeezing on the hourly. Boom, boom. Right, so that could be a nice breakout. For me, I'm not touching it in here. If this squeeze can break out and push through, this will be my entry, and I'm gonna look for the next target. But let's see, squeezing hourly, if you can get through. Weekly call flow, kind of dominant, 9 orders, 3 million in premium, compared to 3 orders on the put side for about 360K. So that's Apple, guys. Let's pull up Netflix. So here's my thoughts on Netflix, guys. It's been regaining life, right? We all see that. Nice big run up. Is a big move coming? That's what I'm really looking for. Zoom in a little more. Right, so it's finally pushing back above the last earnings drop, which is this level. Right, we're getting some closes above it, which just to kind of show you guys what that looks like and why I'm even looking at that level. When was earnings? Right, this earnings drop. You'll see I have earnings high and this 2 zones marked as red. This is where we officially opened to start our earnings drop, and this was all after hours. So 2 very critical zones. You can see it on the daily a little better. That's kind of the zone I'm referring to when I say finally closed above it. It's picking up some strength, trading very well above the 15 MA and the 50 MA. So 50, 15, very, very strong. Still needs to clear that earnings high, like I just showed you guys. That is kind of the next critical zone coming up. I'm gonna stay patient for the next big move on this. Once it can clear through here, guys, I really think we have a lot of room to run. One, it's squeezing an hourly. It's also squeezing the 4 hour. So if it can make it through 319 and 321-ish, I think it can make a push towards the 200 MA, which is near 330. But weekly cloud bottom is a huge key level right now, so one step at a time. Just gonna break that chart down. All right, so Netflix been hanging around 316, starting to now consolidate multiple time frames. To me, that's the next biggest level of interest. We can smash through there. We're gonna start to make a run through the next zone, and up here we have the 200 MA on the daily. Show you guys a clean version, right? So starting with this run up, we're holding strong. We get the 200 MA up here. Last earnings drop, we touched it, been very weak, bottomed out, starting to make a nice run here, right? Consolidating. So right here's the next breakout. If we go to the weekly chart, here's my biggest level of interest, right? When we slip below the cloud, it's very weak. And now we're coming back to the cloud. So if we can push through this level, I really think we have a chance of continuing to run towards the 200 MA, which is around 330, and so on and so on. But one step at a time, guys, and that's kind of my quick thesis on Netflix. This week, interesting. 11 orders for 1.4 million on the call side, and one order for 42K on the put side. I mean, so no real rush to drop it. Really didn't go anywhere this week. It was a short week. And so to me, that's setting up a good move, guys. We got the 4-hour squeeze starting right in 2 critical zones. See if you can hold above that official earnings drop, which is this zone. Even start to make its way above the pre-market earnings high. And if you can rip through there, very bullish. All right, let's move on to NVIDIA. NVIDIA. Boom. All right, guys, sorry my charts look messy in the daily time frame. Even though I'm a day trader, so I mark them up, and once we get in there, they look clean. But we finally gapped up on Monday over major key levels. Right, boom, a huge gap up and fucking went on a huge run. Left everyone in the dust. But that's absolutely fine. So there's about a 1 point gap, point between the gap fill below. It's really not the biggest gap. You can see here we gapped up. Show an actual clean chart. All right, I don't have a clean chart. Hold on. Right, so this is what I'm talking about. We gapped up and we're kind of holding that gap level. So back to my drawing set. Right, we got the gap up low and the gap fill high. Right, and so kind of creates this little zone. What I'd like to see is NVIDIA hang above this for more continued strength. It's squeezing in the hourly. Let's visualize that. Boom, it's getting nice and tight, guys. Right below, in between 2 major key levels. We have weekly cloud top below, which took a very long time to clear. We have 212, which is kind of the major level gap through. So I want to see it hold above all of that. Major focus is the next big breakthrough through 221, 222. And that'll kind of start us on the next leg of this journey. Very messy range below for NVIDIA. Right, so I don't have a real plan to short unless some news comes out that might impact semis, but take a quick look at the daily chart. I don't want to short into all that shit, right? We gapped up, we're holding. And for me, I'm not in a rush to short into this because it could literally just bounce anywhere. So what I want to see is it hold above this and continue to go on its nice little run. Right, so this kind of major level has to hold above. If it starts to slip, I'm going to kind of just give NVIDIA time. But if it can start to break through here and breakthrough there. I really like a big run coming from NVIDIA. It's a very strong semiconductor. Boom, boom, boom. Weekly call flow, 11 orders, 1.7 million. Very odd to see the same exact amount of premium on the other side with a little less orders. So, eyes on NVIDIA. Let's talk about everyone's favorite. All right, so do we have a new all-time high coming soon? That's my question. Right, Roku's been stupid strong. We all know this name. We all know how crazy it is. And it's just continuing its monster run right back towards all-time highs. Right now, I have my eyes on the 168, kind of 170 zone for the next breakout. And like most names, guys, I have no interest shorting them if they're just stupid strong until obvious bear takeover, right? No interest shorting, no interest shorting. Okay, let's think about shorting. That's a bear takeover, right? That's really not. Keep an eye on this, but until we start to see shit like that, I'm just gonna look to be long Roku. The 15 MA is below near 151, right? Which is also a big key level right around here, which kind of started that last initial drop, which we've kind of buried through and are holding above. So the fact that 15 MA is lining up there makes a nice level of support. Starting to squeeze on hourly, and the 4 hour is also pretty tight. And I also have my eyes on the 4 hour cloud. Right, the last big sell-off came after breaching that. So let me show you guys this. Like I said, we'll start doing more cloud stuff, but see how we're coming near the cloud in the 4 hour? Look what happened last time. Right, that last big sell-off I just showed you guys happened when Roku finally fell through it and it started its dump. Right, above it, fell through it, dumped, recovery. So I have no interest shorting Roku until it's on the other side of this cloud, which would be breaching all my key levels. I can't wait to teach you guys the cloud, but I hope that kind of gives you a good picture sense. Last time we were above it, right, above cloud, huge run. Didn't go near it, huge run, topped out, slipped through cloud, tried to fight, boom, over. Finally bottomed out, same exact spot, ripped through cloud, boom, next run, supported, boom, slipped through on some big selling, and quickly recovered. So I got a big eye on this cloud this week. We have 5 orders on the call side for about $500,000 and 1 put for 37K. So people are wise and not trying to short this name, guys. There's a lot of good benefits to Roku. They're getting a lot of sources of revenue. They're getting kickouts from Disney. A lot of things, guys. A lot of things. Let's take a peek at Baba. Baba. And so Baba has been going on a monster run as of recent, all leading up to them going on the Hong Kong exchange. And one interesting thing I saw was the weekly squeeze. Check this out. And that weekly squeeze, we're getting an official fire on big volume, been chilling in the zone for a while, finally making a huge run. All right, guys, Baba is not a name I typically play, but I'm going to have eyes on it for a continuation. Right, going in the Hong Kong exchange is a big deal for China. China loves this name. They're continuing to gobble it up. And so I'm going to pay attention to it, guys. There's 42 calls for 8 million premium this week. You know, one of the top names, 11 orders, for 1.7 million. All-time highs above, right around here. We're starting to squeeze and finally settle down after that massive run. And so, you know, guys, I don't have a huge focus on Baba, but I'm going to keep an eye on them. I think the move was, excuse me for 1 second. I mean, the real move was the run up in anticipation of Hong Kong. But obviously, I didn't catch it, so we'll keep an eye on this zone. But kind of short topic on Baba. One of my favorite names, guys, and I just have 2 more, so we'll wrap this up, is Shopify. You're going to hear me talk a lot about this name. Make that look One better. All right, so here's what I love about Shop, guys. One is they're having a freaking incredible year. They're up about 151% year to date. Right, you can see this run. It's just been monstrous. Boom, 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 boom. Right, and it finally just saw its first pullback to the 200 MA. And guys, it didn't even touch it. Came as close as you can get to a pullback. And it held like a champ. And it's already pushing very strong. Right, so all year didn't touch the 200 MA. And so it was very overdue to finally get a nice pullback. And you know what? It happened just in time for retail season. I sent you guys in Discord some of Shopify's stats from this Black Friday. And it's just unreal, guys. They're smashing growth. And that's a good sign. So all eyes on Shopify. I mean, they have a major impact from the holiday, being a middleman for almost every online retailer. Another thing I noticed was the 15 MA is golden crossing the 50 MA. Not too big on these golden crosses, guys, but I mean, it's the second time since the beginning of the year. So kind of crossed it and then went on a huge run. All right, got that sell-off I just talked about, and we're just starting to cross it. So just something to note and see if we continue to see some strength back up towards those highs. Here's a big thing I really like. So they're breaking back into the daily cloud on extremely strong volume on Tuesday. Let's get that up there. So boom, right? You guys can see. You might start to be piecing together the cloud already, but above it all year, all year, all year, all year. Boom, sell off, struggle, down, 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 down. And then here's what happened, right? We broke back into the cloud on a massive volume day. All right, we touch it, we touch it, we touch it, boom, right? To me, that's potentially now breaking this cycle. And so now the next level is breaking out of the cloud. So we broke into it, and now we're hanging in it. And we have about a clear flat level all the way until about December 13th. All right, so that gives us about 2 weeks for this breakout to happen here, and then the level starts to lower. So let's see what happens, but I really like that cloud break. It's also forming a double bottom, right? So W, and right here would be the breakout point. So it's kind of a lot of variables going for it right now, right at this point. You really don't get too much call flow on a name like Shopify, at least with my software. Last week, there's only about 2 orders for close to 400K, and there was not a single put order. Doesn't mean there wasn't puts, guys. It just means my software did not catch any, any of the put premium. Right, so we got the 15 MA and the 50 MA down below, supporting very nice. I got no interest shorting Shopify, completely long. So what I want to see is this zone continue to hold or this zone hold. And I want to see us continue to smash ahead. Right, so my next entry, I'm looking to play through 334, and I'm looking to get towards that cloud top. And if we break through that cloud top, we kind of have this range to get through. And then I like to try to get to this range. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so one, we got this cloud top range to break out of. If we can break through the cloud top, that's first level. And then this range is kind of capturing all this junk right here. Once we rip through there, we're gonna start to make a push towards this last attempt that started this last sell-off. So to me, those are the next 2 big key zones coming before we make a push back up towards here. One step at a time, guys. But Shop over here, huge ATR, almost 13 points. So you could see if we, let's just say we start here, or actually let's go from open, prior day. It just said there's 13 points. So boom, we could easily see this zone is that zone, Next day, see this zone to top of that zone, right? 13 points. You guys will love how these zones line up perfectly with the ATR, giving you the perfect play. Right, so we could logically play from here to there one day. We'll get into covering zones, but yeah, Shopify is going to be a big focus this week. Like I said, you guys will get all these charts, so you can kind of take a peek and kind of see where these levels drawn from, what do they mean, et cetera, and try to piece them together. All right, yeah, so that's my main focus, Shopify. And then one more, guys, for you to cover. It's actually Beyond Meat. All right, guys, so we IPO, we own that stupid run, we all had a fun time, and then the nice drop, we all had a fun time playing. And as soon as we've kind of bottomed out near the IPO highs, right? So right around 70-ish, 80-ish, we're starting to bottom out. We're in a very tight recent daily squeeze. This is the only reason why I'm watching this name right now, guys. Right? We go from huge to very tight. And we also have a little gap I want to kind of focus on filling if Beyond starts to get some love. All right, so tight squeeze, eyes on breakout towards recent little gap level. So at these highs, creating this zone. I'll zoom in a minute. And finally back above 4-hour cloud. There's the call and put flow. And let's check out these technicals. So boom, here's another example of the cloud, guys, how it kind of changes sentiment. Then below it for a long time, dropping. Finally creeping back on the other side of it. So to me, it could start to get bullish, and I just have my eyes on holding above this. And then some of the zones I created are the following. These are the two gap fill zones, so we can break through here. I want to try to get to here, and the most interesting move for me is going to be from here to here with the daily squeeze breaking, right? So that would be this move, guys. We won this daily squeeze firing, ripping through here, boom, up to around this zone, and then boom, if we do that, go to fill that gap fill level on the below, right? Beyond, really not a huge focus, not a name I aggressively day trade, but if it does start to make this move, I'm gonna have eyes on it. Another thing to review, guys, is some of the hourly squeezes. There's a ton right now. I will run another scan come Monday morning, even once we see if we gap up, down, open flat. But right now we have a ton. We have the SPY, Apple, Netflix, Nvidia, AMD, Baba, Roku, Disney, Tesla, Trade Desk, all squeezing on hourly, guys. Right. What do we say? SPY, nice squeeze. Apple. Right, nice squeeze. Who else we got? Rifle through these. You guys can take a look, but I mean, Netflix squeezing, AMD squeezing. It's actually nice to have a low-key Friday, guys. It made a lot of these big names just tighten up. Nvidia, Roku's starting to tighten up. Shot pretty big. Disney, they're tightening up. Tesla, right? So many guys. So really just be patient and wait for this market to get to some direction come next week. It's going to go one way or the other. And the fact that most of all the major names are in a squeeze really just makes our life much easier. But yeah, guys, big week ahead. I'm really excited to start working with all of you hands-on. I'm going to do some live day trading this week. I will send you guys all of this, kind of look through and read it. But so far, the main focus this week is looking like really liking Netflix, really liking Shopify, really liking Roku, Nvidia. You only need a few names, guys, and I focus on the same names. So I'll be sharing my charts and anything that comes Monday morning, I got you guys covered. You're now even closer family, so let's get to work, right? Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please bear with me. This is my first video on Zoom. I don't have a mic or anything right now, so hope this sounds okay. Hope it was valuable, guys, and any questions you have, just reach out, message me, whatever. I'm here to help. But let's make it a big week, guys. And feel free to share any prep you guys have done. Talk soon.